How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We often talk about crypto and the stock market on this channel, but we don't often talk about net worth, which is the way that you can value how much everything you have is worth. Now, I want to go through how much you need, based on your age, to be average, to be median, to be top 1% net worth. And we'll also compare it in Bitcoin terms, and for fun, we'll throw in XRP. So US dollar net worth, Bitcoin, and XRP. If you like these videos, let me know down below in the comment section. Also, if you do want to trade crypto to try to increase your net worth a little bit faster, there are links underneath the video to CoinW and to WEEX, Blowfin, BTCC, and BTCC. WEEX and BTCC have 20% deposit bonuses right now, and Blowfin and BTCC have 10% deposit bonuses, but it's going to be a very interesting week in the crypto market, so maybe you want to try that out. Now, make sure you know what you're doing before you get started. Let's look at the median net worth by age. Now, I realize everyone starts in different positions, right? Everyone has different upbringings, everyone has different strategies and risk tolerances and all that kind of stuff. So we'll go through some different scenarios. This is the median net worth in the US. We'll then compare it to Bitcoin net worth and XRP. So we'll just denominate it in those cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin being at 85,000, which it's going to be a different price by the time you watch this, but it's right around 85,000 now, and XRP at $2.20. So we'll go through that. ChatGPT, help me spin up these charts. So let's take a look. Also, last thing, median, if you don't know what median is, it is the middle, right? So if there's someone worth $1, someone worth $1 billion, and someone worth $5, the median is $5. So we'll start there. The median net worth for someone under 35 is $39,000. Okay. I realize under 35, that's a wide range of people, right? 21-year-old in college versus a 34-year-old that's been an engineer. But again, median net worth. That in Bitcoin terms, 0.458 Bitcoin. In XRP terms, about 17,727 XRP. All right. I know some people in the audience have more than that Bitcoin right now, or more than that amount of XRP. And I'm not saying that you should have all your net worth in these assets either. It's just a fun way to measure it, to look at it a different way. Median net worth for someone 35 to 44, okay, $135,000. Now, that's a little bit surprising to me. I would have thought it was maybe a little bit lower net worth, knowing like how difficult people have it these days, but apparently that is the median net worth, $135,600. And we'll get to average here in a second. That's brought up by some of the really high earners, and we'll look at 1% too, top 1%. So that's the equivalent of 1.59 Bitcoin or 61,636 XRP. 45 to 54. So people that have been in their careers a long time, this is probably peak earning years for most people. The median net worth is still under $250,000, 247,000. I would guess a lot of this is due to housing as well. And this is right now. So this is after we've had a massive bull run from 2008 basically to now has been a massive bull run. Of course, there have been a couple crashes, but yeah, $250,000, which is the equivalent of 2.9 Bitcoin, 112,000 XRP, 55 to 64. So just like, what is that? The very edge of baby boomers up at 64, and then the younger generation, 365,000, 4.28 Bitcoin, or 165,000 XRP. 65 to 74, so this is boomer age, baby boomer age. The median net worth, oh, excuse me, 1 second. Ooh, sorry. I'm not going to cut that out. That's staying in there. 410,000, 4.8 Bitcoin, 186,000 XRP. And then 75 plus is $336,000. 3.9 Bitcoin, 152. So you can see, not really enough to live. I guess that gives you a good amount of, a little bit of cushion, and you're really relying on Social Security and pensions maybe at this point, and low spending. Maybe, I was going to say maybe your house is paid off, but that would be accounted for in the median net worth. So yeah, most people are not going to be able to live. I mean, if you're using the 4% rule where you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio, this gives you $16,000. I guess you're probably a little bit more aggressive if you're 70 years old. Maybe you're taking 8% out, but that still is not much to take out each year. Okay, next chart. Let's look at the average net worth. So again, this is brought up by the people that make a lot of money, right? So someone that makes $10 billion and then someone that's worth $10 billion and then someone that's worth $1, the average would be like $5 billion. So this will be brought up by the high earners. Let's take a look at under 35. The average net worth, 183. So if you remember the last one, I think it was right around it was right around 39,000 for under 35 was the median. So definitely brought up significantly by the people that probably own real estate, that are making, a couple $100,000 a year, maybe doctors, lawyers, engineers, that kind of stuff. Average in Bitcoin terms, 2.16 Bitcoin or 83,400 XRP. All right. I mean, that's a multi-coiner right there. 35 to 44. The average net worth, 550,000. That's actually higher than I would have thought, the average net worth. So 550,000, 6.46 Bitcoin or 250,000 XRP. I think most people in this range would still have a hard time buying one full Bitcoin. Most people that have $550,000 in net worth at this age probably have it in a property, I would assume. They bought a property when they were in their maybe upper 20s that was a little bit outside their price range. Maybe they bought a $500,000 property and 10 years later, it's appreciated by, let's say, 10 or 15% a year. They got leveraged returns on that. And now they have 550,000. So it's not very liquid. Or they have it in, some stock or something like that. 401k, they've put, maybe they max out the 401k for 10, 15 years, something like that. It would be very hard for them to still buy one full Bitcoin because they're not that liquid, and putting 20% in an asset that is very volatile is very difficult for most people. 45 to 74, $975,000, the average. So almost approaching millionaire status, 11.48 Bitcoin. 55 to 64, 1.5 million Bitcoin. Again, surprising. I would have thought it was lower. 65 to 74, $1.8 million, or we're past the 20 Bitcoin barrier. Okay. 815,000 XRP, and then 1.6 million in net worth at 75 plus. So we're starting to come down a little bit. This is enough to retire for most people, especially at this age. You're going to be getting Social Security. So if you have $1.8 million in a portfolio and you're withdrawing, let's say 5% or so, that's $90,000 a year plus Social Security from one or two people. It's probably enough to get by, right? And to still be able to do what you want for the most part. Okay, now what about the top 1%? This is going to be broken up into 5-year ranges, so we'll try and move through it a little bit quicker. Actually, I'll just do 2 at a time. So 18 to 24, the top 1% net worth is actually $653,000. That's surprising, but I guess there are some people that maybe dropped out or never went to college and started making really good money, and maybe they bought a couple properties, they appreciated. Surprising though, surprising. I wouldn't have thought that was that high that soon, but hey, there's a goal for you. 25 to 29. And if this is getting you depressed here, that's okay. This is something to strive for. This is literally, you are the top, like random 100 people are polled, you are worth more than all of them, right? Or you're like right all up there. And we'll talk about something that can help you get further up, right, in net worth for your age group in a second. But $2.12 million for 25 to 29. Again, a little bit surprising. I mean, these are people these are not like young professionals that are like doctors or lawyers, because they would have just gone out of school. Like, this is maybe, again, people that have been in real estate or have owned their own business. People maybe working in the tech field for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and maybe they got bought out and they had equity. So again, that's a lot. 25 Bitcoin worth, or almost a million XRP. 30 to 34. Surprisingly, not that big a jump. Okay, I mean, there's a huge jump from 18 to 24. I would have thought it would keep on scaling exponentially, but 2.6 million. Okay, maybe a little bit more achievable there. 35 to 39, average net worth of 4.7 million. Okay, so another big jump there. Another couple $1 million jump. That's 7.8 million from 40 to 44. Now you're starting to get into like peak earning years. You've been in your job for 15, 20 years at this point. I can see that. 8.7 million. Again, it's kind of surprising. We're almost well, not, I say kind of surprising. There's actually a smaller jump from 44 to 49 than there was from 39 to 44. I would have thought that they would continue up exponentially, right? This is like a $3 million jump, and then there's a $1 million jump. Maybe it's ChatGPT playing tricks on us, but we're past the 100 Bitcoin mark. We're almost at 4 million XRP. Imagine that. Imagine the volatility on 4 million XRP if that was your net worth. Okay, another big jump, 13.2 million, 15.4 million for 55 to 59. 60 to 64 is almost 18 million, then 22 million from 65 to 69, 18 million, 20 million, and then 16 million for 80 plus. Okay, now to be clear, this is pulling from Fidelity, from DQYDJ, and Lexington Law as well. So a couple different sources. I think it's pulling from multiple and then like averaging them out. Wall Street Survivor as well, Financial Samurai, Wealth Tender, Empower Retirement. So definitely some credible sources and then some ones I haven't heard about before. Now, don't let this get you down. If you're not in the top 1%, that's okay, right? Like only a very small portion of people, 1% of people are going to be in the top 1%. Now, one thing that's kind of crazy to think about, we talk about, if you want to be the average net worth, let's say at 35 years old, that is 35 to 44. The average net worth is 550,000 in the US. That's an equivalent of 6 Bitcoin. To be clear, Bitcoin goes up to $500,000 in the next couple of years, and you have one full Bitcoin. Like you just 5x'd your net worth, or 6-7x'd your net worth, and you're probably going to be better set up than most people in that category. Like, the fact is, if Bitcoin goes up to where we think it's going to go, if XRP continues to grow, or even if it doesn't go up to $500,000 in the next couple of years, let's just say it appreciates at 20%. And it's appreciated much more than that in the past, so let's say 20%. You're still going to gain on a lot of people. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. I do the denominations in Bitcoin or XRP, whatever. If these things pump up with looser monetary supply, with a more pro-crypto government, maybe the average net worth stays exactly the same, but we're talking about instead of needing 6.5 Bitcoin to be the average net worth at 35, maybe we're talking, let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Maybe instead of 6.5 Bitcoin, maybe it's like 2 Bitcoin or 3 Bitcoin. So if you already have a couple coins, you could move up this list or like pop into a different list, right? Maybe you are 37, but you're in the average net worth of a 45-year-old, right? So that would be pretty cool. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Do you like this kind of thing? Is it fun to look at? I kind of enjoy this. And it's cool to think about like where you could be or like what the top 1% is like, right? Let me know your thoughts though underneath the video. Again, if you want to trade, there are links underneath, and I'll see you in the next one.